Well, welcome everybody to the State of the Brigade. I'm going to try not to make this too formal because I think in the past I took it like just a little too seriously. So we'll like chill out a little bit with the nice, wonderful new mountain scene in the background and little presentation. By the way, I want some feedback. I know I have my lectern here, okay, but it used to be like this, like we were in a little schoolhouse, right, with a blackboard or something, projector maybe. And I'm trying out bringing in some of the background from the starting screen. So be interested in your feedback on that. I'm kind of leaning toward a bit of a change because then it kind of fits with just chatting or be right back or the starting screen or whatever. But makes it a little less interesting perhaps. I don't know. So I try to refresh the icons with people that have been in chat recently. So if you're not listed there, that doesn't mean you mean any less to me. That just means you weren't handy when I went to go grab icons, okay? The movement is a little distracting. Well, Jeff, that's good feedback. Medio, you're really not. Medio, right there. Isn't that you? The cat next to Harbus? And Gavik? Oh, it's your old icon. Yeah, some of them I didn't update. Sue me. You've been around too long. All right, so I just want to do a few things. I want to take a look back at year 3. I want to look at some stats and then talk a little bit about it, and then talk a little bit about year 4 plans. Okay? Da-da! Look at my cursor. I mean, Zuna is not far from the truth. Okay. So my year in stream is a little bit off, you know, like it's like 1 month off. I think like a lot of people, the new year kind of made me think I wanted to switch things up, do something a little different. So I hit affiliate in February 1st ish. So because GDQ fell in the middle of January this year, I had to kick it back to this weekend. Normally we would have done it last weekend, but I just didn't have enough time to prepare and kind of get centered on all this stuff. So, rewinding to last year, so about a year from a year ago at this time, we had our last affiliate anniversary where I unveiled a bunch of new redeems, art, and effects that the stream, I think the fireworks and like that kind of stuff kind of came in around that time. I added that new rim lighting layout like this. That's not what I meant, like this. And it doesn't work on bright layouts, so I'm sorry, I can't really show you any more than that. And my speedrun layouts, like this. That let me do a full 16:9 window with a chat and live split at the same time. I started speedrunning Mega Man 2, and I kept speedrunning Tunic. At the time, I was grinding all relics restricted, because I always loved that category and wanted to get back into it. And I wanted to submit it to FWA at fastest first at FWA and GDQ. I ended up taking the world record in the winter time for all relics, and it still stands today, even though it's increasingly in danger of being lapped at some point. Oh, it's on here, Shade. Don't worry. But around that time, we played Metroid 2 for Game Boy. We played the Resident Evil 4 Remake, which I picked a too hard of a difficulty to start and ended up not super enjoying my time for some of it. For those of you who remember, don't worry about it. Badger won the raffle for playing a game with me, and we played Fogs for a few hours, and that was good times. You might see a clip or two of that in a minute. And then Leroy played Little Gator Game, and Alex asked me to play Goat Simulator 3. Cool. All right. I don't know why I don't have month names here. Don't worry about it. We kept speedrunning Tunic pretty much all year. Last April, I tried to go the distance in Spelunky. I think eventually last year I got up to like a 782 or something, but I was never able to get that third 799. We played a lot of Mega Man games in April. Pretty much went through the whole SNES and NES saga up through X4 and all the Game Boy and Game Gear games too. And we even had a little showcase by Lokai. He did a speedrun, New Game Plus, for Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 4 Remake, which he is still playing today. This is like the only 2 games he plays. Yeah, in May, we actually went to FWA and speedran Tunic. All relics restricted. That was super, super fun. I think that was a big part of me gaining some confidence in doing it live, to know what it was going to be like to be able to do something like GDQ. And then we did our damage shuffler. So this is the second time we've done a damage shuffler. Why only the first 3 Game Boy games? I think that was just like in April, and then in May we finished it. Ivan, it's just sort of, I'm like maybe too specific in this breakdown. But we raised a good amount of money for Trans Lifeline with the damage shuffler. That was super fun. That took an entire Saturday to get done. Then yes, after that we had some redeems like playing Mega Mim and Backpack Hero. Virgil won the raffle to play co-op with us, and then King and Badger joined me, and we played through all of ODST and played some multiplayer, which we'll see a little reprise of tomorrow afternoon. I did some Myst speedrunning because I went to Mysterium last year around July 4th, so I wanted to dip into Myst right before that. And so I tried Myst for the PC for the first time for speedrunning purposes. We did Myst 3 on the consoles, PS2 and Xbox, and then I did Myst 5 for the first time. And out of the blue, randomly, I got my Spelunky 2 any percent PB, which means with the teleporter around that time. Oh, there you go. I didn't know I even had it in the slide. So in July, we actually got up to Cosmic Ocean 83 and then just stopped. You can see in the summer, Lokai and I played through on stream both the Golden Idol DLCs, which we thought were okay, but definitely worth the time to play through. It was fun. I started working a little bit more on Tunic speedrunning to kind of fill in some of the categories I wasn't very good at or had never tried before, and started doing more work on the Tunic Rando. I picked up Kingsley's Adventure around that time because I thought it would be funny. And then ended up getting the any percent world record not too long after that by applying a lot of task strats and kind of coming up with some of my own. We did our second Elden Ring playthrough in September. I tried Star of Providence, FTL, to get to some of the roguelike stuff I'd promised to work on last year. And for those that are curious, Star of Providence used to be called Monolith. And I think I liked it. The end game was pretty rough on controller, I think. I never did finish like the ultimate end of that game. But it was a fun game if you were just going for like any percent or something. You remember when F-Zero 99 came out? That was a trip for a few weeks, right? Still a good game, but it was the zeitgeist for a little while there. And I don't remember this at all, but apparently I did a Myst 30th anniversary stream in September. And we went through, I think, a few versions of Myst and just kind of like talked about my memories and that kind of stuff. And then I got a pretty sick Tunic any percent PB, which moves us into kind of the last quarter of last year. We did another Elden Ring playthrough, and I was starting to realize that maybe I actually like this game a little bit more on subsequent playthroughs than I had the first time. I did a quick impromptu single-day charity stream that raised $1,400. I don't even know who we raised that money for, to be honest. I should have written that down. It doesn't matter. It's for charity. That's already good enough. And we did a bunch of different classic games, but then there were like challenges interspersed. If people donated money, they could tell me like, hey, try to beat this level in Celeste without dying or whatever, and we would do that. And then I failed most of those challenges and had to gift even more money, but that's fine. That's what it's about. And around that time in mid-October, I found out I was accepted to GDQ. Oh, I guess I don't have it listed here. But in very late September, I was asked by one of the showrunners for the Tunic Hotfix, or Tunic Hotfix? AGDQ Hotfix, to run Tunic, because they saw my submission on the GDQ submission page and wanted to put together like an episode of animal speedruns that were under an hour. So that was kind of the start of a ball rolling downhill. That I thought that was the height of my Tunic career at that point, was getting to go on a weekly show for GDQ, right? And just shortly thereafter, I got word from Silent while I was on stream that they had accepted Tunic into GDQ. And then a few weeks later, we found out it was going to be the first run. And I will say, I had a lot of plans for November, December, and January to close out year 3 of this stream. And those plans went out the window because instead we focused on Tunic. We did do a Tunic showcase for Fastest Furs, which if you're interested in Tunic speedrunning, was so much fun to put together. It's like 1 4-hour VOD that goes over basically every category we have, different rule sets. We did a New Game Plus race that Keatsuke and Jabber ran in. Silent showed off True Ending. We did a randomizer race where King Samson bested me. But it was so much fun. I put a lot of effort into that. And that was pretty cool. And then one of the surprises was I also did a secret Halloween stream around that time. And I was really, really happy with that. Maybe I'll show y'all what that looks like sometime. I think the VOD, even when I edited that down, is still about an hour. And it's kind of, I don't know how exciting it is to watch a scary story get read to you on stream. But if you're ever curious, that VOD is on my YouTube channel, which is, let me see if this command still works. Yo, there it is. I made a guide for Kingsley's Adventure, submitted that to Fastest Furs, and then ran that in their Fall Fest in November. And because it was way too early to pick up Tunic and start grinding that, I picked up Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and we ran the glitchless category for any percent, which is called All Royal Seeds, for a little while. And that was super fun. It was the first Mario game I'd ever run. Community might be a little bit too big for me, a little bit too accepting of strats that drive me crazy as boilerplate. But that's fine. It was a good time either way. I got my sub 220? So I got, under 2 hours, 20 minutes, and I put that down. We picked up Dark Souls Remastered. That was super fun to play. We picked up Bloodborne for the first time and played through that on stream, which I rather enjoyed, other than a couple areas here and there. Started GDQ practice in late December. Joined GDQ's Hotfix channel again to have a grudge match against Merle where we played Titus the Fox. What a trip that was. Thank you, Merle, for hanging out with me to do that. Over the holidays, we played the Elden Ring Rando with Keatsuke, and that was an adventure. But we cleared all of it. We went all the way into the Halig Tree. We did. It was fun. I think Fire Giant was like one of the first. I don't remember anything about that. It was fun either way. And then New Year's Eve, we did a stream where we watched a lot of Mega 64 and Balloon Shop videos. And I think a lot of people left very confused about my mental state, which is fine. January sneaks in there again because my year has shifted just a little bit. We had our AGDQ run, of course, which you just saw. A lot of practice went up to that. That was about halfway through January. I stayed for a week at GDQ, and then we came back and, did that all balls run in Elden Ring. And I can say, finally, after 11 hours, I did beat Millennia. So, okay, I want to breeze through this because if you know me, you know I do not care about this stuff that much, but I think it's important to be transparent about some stuff. So I had revenue last year over year of about $4,000, and that kind of broke down. Paid subs was the number one chunk of that, so thank you very much. Bits came in second, gift subs third, and then I'm surprised that Prime and ads are as high as they are, but I think last year is when Twitch kind of went into a bit like hardcore mode about ads and kind of retooled the way they do that stuff. So I don't know. Maybe they just get more pay through for that. I don't know. I don't care. It adds up to about 4,000. And then, as promised, I make sure that goes back to where I said it would. So I spent about $1,500 on stream improvements and or prep for marathon stuff. So the artwork that you see behind us, in the mountains, into the snow and everything, that was provided by Aesthetic Den, who did our ending screen. They were paid to do that and some other stuff I can't talk about right now. We did sticker printing for the charity marathons to help incentivize donations on the other end of that. So there's like, I have a bunch of emote stickers now that'll be part of our next charity marathon. And I think one of the a couple of the grand prizes for donations during this marathon, we'll get a handful of those. Obviously, we bought more emotes, paid for some live 2D model updates that you're looking at right now. That was done early last year. And then $600 for some stuff I can't talk about yet, which will be done when it's done. Okay. I know that's kind of a you have to trust me thing, but trust me, I'll be able to close the loop on that eventually. And then as you can see, the vast majority, or at least by a good margin, the majority of the income went to charitable donations. And I kind of broke that down a little bit in terms of like $950 went to our own marathon. So like I just kind of put that money back into the 2 or 3 marathons I did last year on this channel for Trans Lifeline or the I can't remember. It's like CSB Southern. It's specifically to help LGBT people in the South where like those resources are a little less accessible. So okay, you'll get me there together. Campaign for Southern Equality. That's right. There you go. Yeah, what's up, quote? And then yeah, there's some community GoFundMes we helped out with. Other streamers on Twitch who are doing charity marathons, Fastest Furs. You know, a lot of this goes back to other marathons, but I guess that's where you donate small amounts like this, right? So anyway, there's my breakdown. I'm obviously rounding by a few dollars here and there just to make it a little bit easier to add up, but you get the idea. Okay, cool. So here are my goals for year 3 for the stream. I wanted to be able to prioritize my life over the stream and not let the stream control my life. I want to adjust my streaming schedule, which we did accomplish. I went down from having dedicated nights on Friday to just like occasional nights on Friday. And I think that was okay. I don't think that's made like a huge difference to the stream attendance or like what I feel like I can get done on stream. So cool. I think I did normalize canceling streams. I think I took vacations and stuff whenever I wanted, and well, not whenever I wanted, but like I didn't let having to cancel a stream get in the way of being healthy, which is good. Good progress for me. Did I learn 4 new roguelikes? I don't know. We played Monolith. We played Backpack Hero. We played Cobalt Core a little bit. We played FTL a lot more than I ever have before. Whatever. That's 4. Check. Play 2 new Soulsborns. I don't think I did that. We replayed Dark Souls 1. We replayed Elden Ring, and I did play Bloodborne. So you got a lot of Soulsborne content out of me, but not 2 new ones, but close enough, right? In the right direction. And recharge for year 4. So the intent, I think, at the start of last year was like, man, guys, I got to get my life in order. I want to do that this year. So next year we can like explode and just do a ton of crazy stuff on stream. And that did not happen. I think I am. Okay. Yeah. The rando counts. All right. That's fine. That's fair. I think it's kind of just been the same trajectory of like this stream and the fancy, stupid, silly things I can do on it from a technical perspective or a social perspective or whatever is just such a draw for me and my energy and the output that I want that it's really, really hard to slow down, to drop opportunities that come my way, and to prioritize personal health. So I'm going to say fail on that pretty hard. I do not feel recharged in this moment, but, you know, all failure is just feedback, right? So I don't think that's quite true, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm going for there. So personally, I wanted to improve my sleep schedule, which like I would say did happen a little bit, but mostly just because my job is terrible and I never actually have to wake up for anything. So that's not maybe the greatest progress. I did not leave my current job or get a new one. However, I did try, and Lokai can attest to this. I did man up and tell them, hey, I'm moving, and that what I thought was going to precipitate me being asked to leave, because it's a state college in a state I no longer live in. But that did not happen. They transferred me to another agency that could contract out of other states. And so I think the intent of these goals were to be like, hey, your life is not very stable. You could, this is not like a tenable situation. And while I don't enjoy the job that I have or the situation that it's in, I do think I did improve the stability of the situation. I'm no longer like in danger of being kicked out of my job because I am moving to a state where it should not be allowed to be performed. Now it is official. So I would say I made some progress there, but let's say maybe that's still a work in progress. I did maintain weight, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember what I weighed a year ago, but it's pretty close. I would say some of my clothes don't fit great anymore. That weight has shifted around a little bit, but I'm still under 200. So that's good. I'll leave it there. And find the next place to live. Well, we didn't do that. We renewed our lease again, and we've got this place for another 6 months at least. So some good, some bad. Nothing crazy bad, nothing crazy good. We'll strike it down the middle, and we'll say that's okay. So these are measurements I came up with a few years ago to just say like, hey, I don't want to use Twitch metrics to determine my wealth or my worth or my pass or fail or my goals. And so I wanted to come up with my own metrics like, hey, how can I know if I'm doing what I want to do? And this is what I came up with. Do we have good participation rate in activities? Do I have evidence that there's positive feedback that I don't solicit, that people share with me, unprompted? Am I personally satisfied with what I'm doing? And then last and least are the Twitch metrics. And for the most part, I would say these are all doing pretty well. We'll talk about this more in a little bit, but I think from my perspective and what I want out of stream, things are good. And I can't really ask for more, I think. Most of the change that I want to see is going to have to come from me. I don't think it's something I need to change about what's around me, I guess. I'm not a big fan of sending the surveys out much anymore. I think I was a bigger fan of that a few years ago. I have sent some surveys out from time to time, and it's just very hard to get honest answers from people because most of the people who are going to fill the surveys out are the people who already are willing to help you out in the first place, right? Which means they probably align a little bit better with the way you think in the first place. And so, maybe not the strongest way to receive feedback, but it occasionally does help, especially if I'm stuck on a problem and I need some advice, and y'all have been receptive to that. So all signs pointing in the right direction, I think. Here's my average viewers on stream over time. It's very consistent, I think. And that's all I care about. I have a good vibe here. Y'all create a good atmosphere here. We do get the occasional weirdos, but sometimes they turn out to be fine, and other times they just leave. It's like, okay, that's fine. You can see when we do our marathons, because there's huge spikes, but like, whatever. It doesn't matter. And am I growing? I don't know. I don't really care. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I really want to, because I think the growth to weirdo ratio is pretty linear, maybe even exponential. So I'm pretty happy here. I think this is a really funny graph that I used to use a lot, which is hours streamed compared to followers gained, because it's almost always linear, which is why I do not like using a follower count, because your follower count is basically just like how long have you been streaming. However, there was an enormous spike this year. I'll leave you with two guesses where that came from. I just thought it was funny when I looked at this graph, so I thought I'd leave it in here. But that was GDQ if you're unaware. I will tell you, just like, I don't know if I've ever talked about this publicly, but like the hour or two after my run, oh my God, man. I got more messages, notifications, congratulations, like that kind of stuff, in that 2 hours than I may have ever in the course of a week in my entire life. And it was overwhelming. Hopefully that's not like a humble brag. I mean, it was very cool. I'm very glad people reached out to say congrats or, good job or whatever. But oh my God, it was coming from everywhere. And I checked Twitch and it was like, you've got like fucking 300 followers or something extra. I don't know. It's crazy. And it's like, I can't wait for all these people to show up and see me as a VTuber and see that I don't speedrun a lot and leave. But that's fine. Normalize unfollowing people that do not make you happy. You can be their friend and not want to follow them, So last year I talked about these Venn diagrams and I want to quickly show them again. This is why I decided to stream, because I was like, hey, I want to socialize more. I need to make stuff to feel good, and I have a lot of games to play. And I can do all three of those at the same time. But then what actually happened is the things I wanted to do on stream were like a whole new class of thing, right? And it took up a lot more room in my life than I thought. And I actually didn't get a lot of my personal game backlog taken care of and or make, it wasn't all the fulfillment I needed in my life, right? And in year 2, it got worse. Like the stream backlog got bigger than I had. It had almost its own speedrun backlog to take care of. And my needs in real life are getting bigger and have no crossover with the time I spend on any of this. And so what I wanted year 3, or I thought this was going to happen in year 3, it was basically my in real life concerns were going to become bigger, but there was going to be no change to the makeup. And so I wanted to kind of integrate it all to be like, hey, I'm gonna address all these things, but I want to be able to focus more on not spending all my free time preparing for stream and reclaiming a little bit more of that time. And I would say it worked a little bit from time to time, but I think what actually happened is my in real life concerns got even bigger and my need to socialize got even bigger. And everything else stayed the same except my motivation to speedrun and stream and even game in a personal sense all kind of shrank a little bit. So this isn't all bad, right? Like obviously a lot of my need to socialize is being taken care of by stream, which is super cool. And I have only all of you to thank for that. My speedrun backlog is getting dealt with and I'm socializing more through the speedrun community, which is really cool. I am getting to make a bunch of cool stuff. I mean, that October where I did the Tunic Showcase and my birthday stream and the Fastest Furs stuff and a Halloween stream all together, it nearly killed me. But I loved it. And I can't believe I found a way to get it all done. But I think it's a little dangerous. Like in some ways, it's almost too alluring to pour myself into some of these activities, even some of the things I did for this stream this weekend. And I look back and I'm like, what if I had spent all that time taking care of myself? Or what if I'd spent that time looking for a new job? Or what if I spent that time going to visit some friends? Or what if I spend that time trying to make some new friends or whatever, right? And it's tough. It's like, it's very hard to allocate the effort to doing those harder things because it's so easy to come into my room, sit at my computer, imagine up all these wonderful things I can make that look cool or sound cool or are interactive or we can share together. And it's very hard to devote the time I need. And you can see so much of that is being unfulfilled right now. So I don't have much to say about year 4 yet because I haven't planned a ton of it. But one thing I do want to say is that I have a new channel trailer for you to check out. I played this earlier on in the stream. I had plans to save it for now. But I would like you to take a look at a channel trailer that I think fits me a little bit better. I think has better music, has updated clips, and just overall represents me a little bit more, or a little bit better in 2024. Okay? Enjoy. Hello, my name's Rad, and I love getting better at stuff, like speedruns, roguelikes, souls, and retro games. I know I won't ever be the best, but I do love learning and sharing. And I've been known to be a little silly. No. No! What? Oh my god, there's no oxygen on the ship. I'm not gonna speedrun this game. There is zero chance. I'm the best. I'm done. Dude! Isn't the tree good? I don't know. I haven't been paying attention. I'm a little different. I don't focus on growth. I just want to meet and hang out with cool people and challenge myself. And any proceeds go back into the stream or straight to charity. If that sounds good to you, drop by sometime. Don't ask me why that sound just played, but whatever. So that's it. It's good, right? You like it? Sometimes it doesn't feel very good to think I put like 3 or 4 weeks of effort into that and it went by in 1 minute and it's gone. But it was fun. It's like, I cannot tell you how many days I went hiking or sat in the shower or like whatever, and was just daydreaming about like what song would I use, how would I pull all the elements together, how could I like sync it to the music, and all, like I love doing that stuff, just daydreaming about how I'd put like digital elements together and then making it happen. So I would say just getting to build trailers like that for stream is a reward in itself, even if I don't end up like actually connecting with anybody over it. But the added benefit is that I think it illustrates what you might get out of meeting me a little bit better. So it'll go up soon as my new channel trailer. So for those that don't know, Twitch allows you to put up a video that will only show to people who visit your channel and are not currently following you. So that's what that's for. And it has to be under a minute. So of course that video is 59 seconds long and I had to edit down that song to take out like a full measure to make sure it fit within a minute. So there's a little nipping and tucking everywhere to make that work, but I'm pretty happy with it. So if you ever get any big raids, I have that queued up as a scene in OBS so we can just watch it. You'll probably end up seeing it a lot, so I apologize. But you know what's better? There's one thing that's better about this is that when you go to my channel now, which I do a lot to like just get to Twitch, that's just like my bookmark. And if for some reason the channel trailer is not muted, you don't immediately hear hello like at the loudest volume, because that used to be in like the first 3 frames of my last trailer. So now at least you get a little subdued music, and so you can find the mute button quickly. Is the BRB video a different video? Is the BRB video a different video? I don't know what you mean, Jeff. The BRB video feed is hundreds of clips that are just like shuffled that play at different times. I've got a local folder on my computer that just has like hundreds of clips. Yeah. Okay. So for me, I want to get a new therapist. When I left the state of Florida, I discovered that therapists are licensed for states. And so mine told me like, yo, I can't actually like meet you anymore. Eventually. I mean, we had an ongoing, dialogue about it, but I guess they have like a limit, and I hit that limit last year. So I need to do that at some point. I gotta find another place to live, and that doesn't necessarily mean it can't be this one, but need to figure out if we need to move and how far. And so that's tough. That's a big one. I want to spend more time with friends, whether they are local, of which I have very few, or far away, which means probably going to conventions or trips or something. Easier said than done. I traditionally try to set goals like improve my morning routine or like improve my sleep schedule. And that's really hard because I think at the root of that problem is I just don't have a routine. Like a lot of people, and me included, used to have a routine or do have a routine that is kind of dictated by your constraints. Like you have a work schedule, you got to get up, takes so long to get to work. You got to coordinate with other people in your house to make sure things are done at certain times, whatever. Almost all of that has evaporated for me, and I would say it is not good for me. I do not enjoy it. I enjoy the flexibility, but I feel like I get more downside than upside out of it. So hopefully finding a new place to live will eventually lead to a job change, and that just by nature will like give me some stability to plan around. in the absence of that, I would really like to try to work on, just a better routine. It's not a traditional routine, but at least it's a routine. Get up at this time, go to bed at this time, try to go out at this time, go hike at this time, go get coffee at this time, something like that. Some just basic pattern that I can follow. Stream obviously will be a part of that, but for me, that's just kind of what I want to work on instead of just kind of winging it, which I kind of wing it every day. It's kind of wild, and I'm getting kind of sick of that. And we'll just go with maintain or lose weight. That's a good goal, again. For stream, I'll just read these and then I'll explain them. I want to take a break. I want to slow down and focus on just a few things that I want to get better at instead of just like chasing every lead that comes into my brain. Probably that means less new speedruns and less new games and more of a focus on the ones I do choose to bring in. It might actually mean less time on stream overall. I haven't decided yet, but I want to find a sustainable pace that can last me as long as I keep doing this, which is not going to be 3 to 4 times a week for 5+ hours a night, right? That's not what it's going to be. Okay. So what I mean by take a break is after tomorrow, I will be taking at least a month off of stream. I haven't really thought about how long that's going to be, and I don't make this decision lightly, but I started to make a list of things that I would do on a theoretical break, whether that was like a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. And when I hit the third page, I was like, okay, maybe I should consider a longer break. So, I don't know what I'm going to do on that break. I haven't even really had the mental space to think about what I would do with free time because I let this stream soak up so much of my mental devotion. Like it's a very quick, instant, and satisfying feedback loop for me to put effort into this and get to share it immediately and move on, which means in the absence of some other constraint, I devote like all of my time to it, which is not healthy. I need to be able to set a limit somehow. And so I don't know. I don't want to tell you I'm going to be gone for exactly 3 weeks or something like that. I don't know. Hopefully I don't just come back in a week and I'm like, nah, just kidding. Never mind. I don't know what to do without this, but yeah. So we'll see. I'm probably going to take a trip for a week or two to be alone and to try to just like think about what I want to, how I want to apportion my time, what I want to focus on. Might start reaching out to people to see, potentially who to go visit to see if I can like check out some cities I might want to move to. And I don't know. Yeah, so hopefully that's not too shocking. I realize that it seems pretty dumb to a lot of people to say, you just went to GDQ and so many people just got the chance to meet you. Why would you be taking a break now? And I will just say that I feel like, and maybe this is obvious in retrospect, but when I got back from GDQ, everything feels a little different now. Like, it feels like I just climbed Mount Everest. And suddenly, like, mountain climbing just doesn't feel the same anymore. Does that make sense? Like, it's not like it ceased to be interesting to me. It was just sort of like, damn, what in the hell am I going to do next? And I think I just need some time to figure that out. So there's a lot of stuff that I just do not devote time to. I never followed up with the eye doctor about trying to get some kind of yearly exam done because large optic nerves like run in my family and they wanted to make sure that doesn't turn into glaucoma or something like that. I just like never thought to follow up. Look at this checklist. Like, I could devote a month to this and I probably won't even get close to fulfilling any of these goals, right? So like a month will go by in the snap of a finger, right? So like, let's just let's not act like it's like the end of the world, or you know what I mean? Like it's a function of time, but I promise you, when it's over, I will be like, damn, I only did like 25% of the things I wanted to do with it. So it's gonna be really hard not to immediately try to weaponize every minute of that time to get as much stuff done as humanly possible. I'm going to try to really like make sure that some of that time is just for like walking around and thinking about stuff. Or like, you know, I don't know if y'all know this about me, but I basically don't watch any movies or TV shows like at all because I just don't have time. Like I don't ever set aside time to do that. If I have free time, I'm either thinking about what to do on stream next, working on what to do on stream next, streaming, or watching other people stream. That's kind of what I do with my free time. And I'm not knocking it. It's pretty good. I mean, watching people stream is almost better than streaming. Like it feels very comforting to be able to like share those moments with people and cheer them on and have that on in the background. It makes working from home or being alone way, way less lonely. So I'm very thankful for that. But anyway, that's where we're going to start. I don't know what kind of changes are going to come out of that time, but I promise you when I come back, it will be to something cool, maybe a charity marathon a week or so after, to just like kind of get back in the swing of things. I have lots of stickers to give away. I'd love to do that. It'll probably have a new schedule. I know a lot of that stuff I would usually share in this presentation, but I promise you, I do not have the mental like clarity to be able to nail that down. And I think a couple of weeks ago when I was really stressing about getting things done for this presentation, I just kind of took a step back and thought, dude, nobody cares if you have all that stuff figured out right now. There's no pressure beyond yourself to have any of that figured out. And then I just started thinking about taking a break, and I was like, you know what? I made a promise to myself. I don't talk about this with anyone. Maybe I've talked about it with Lokai a little bit, but I tanked the music too, didn't I? Oh, whatever. I just wanted to make it to the end of my third year, and then anything after that was like all bets off the table. I don't know where this is going. I wanted to be able to look back, whether this is just in my head or, you know, giving a narrative to something that doesn't deserve it or whatever, but I wanted to be able to look back at the first 3 years, or just the solid 3 years that I had streamed, and know I stuck with a plan. I did it the way I wanted to do it, and I never took a huge break, or I didn't ever miss a huge chunk of time other than like an occasional trip here and there. So, and that was cool. That's neat. It's nice that I can look back at my life and say, like, I did that. I check, done. But I don't necessarily think that's very healthy. I think maybe the person at the age I am and the position of life I'm in and the number of things I need to try to fix or realign in my life, making sure I stream 3 to 4 nights a week for years in a row is not healthy. Like I probably should have more leeway to be able to like address things than having such a highly consistent stream schedule. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking about this, but I'm not going to disappear. I'm not taking like a sabbatical from the internet, right? Like I'll still be on Discord. You'll still be able to message me if you talk to me online on Discord or whatever. In fact, I'd like to hear from more of you during this break, because that's the kind of stuff that I would rather focus on than just working on stream, right? And I'm sure I'll ask a lot of you a lot of questions. I am probably also going to close my Twitter account, try to clean up my social media presence to only only companies I want to support and only an amount of intake that I can handle. So we'll see. Got a lot of changes coming up, but I didn't try to slam them all through before this marathon. So I just wanted to share that with you. And hopefully when I come back, I'll be able to share some answers. Not all, guaranteed not all, but some. So it is a shame. I understand why people still have the accounts. I understand why, if you have a very personal endeavor, like you're an artist or you own a company or you make a game or something, like you got to have those accounts. You got to be able to like network and you got to be able to advertise. But I can tell you, I cannot count Like, I cannot think of a single time that having Twitter has helped me reach my goals on stream. I have never once, I don't regularly tweet that I'm live. I don't share. I just don't. I don't think I get a lot of value out of it. So, is it going to sever a lot of connection I have with other people and lower my visibility? Yes. Does that sound like a good thing to me? Yes, it does. As long as I can keep doing this at the level I'm doing it, let's get the lowest visibility possible, please. That'd be great. So, I've got Mastodon. I've got a Blue Sky account. I don't really know how I want to use them. We'll figure it out. I will tell you though, and this is maybe like a longer discussion that we can have later, is I have found social media the most enjoyable when I follow people that I know the least. Right? All the jealousy, fear of missing out, comparison shopping, or not shopping, comparison, comparing yourself to others, their success or failures or whatever. That the negativity seems to only come from when I know these people personally. Like, why didn't they invite me to that? Or like, oh, I wish I could be like them, or I wish they'd help me do this, or oh man, I wish, But if there's like a huge distance between me and the people that I follow, I don't really get that. And it's a lot more enjoyable. So it's a weird feeling to be like, if I know you, I don't want to follow you, but I kind of feel like that makes sense. Like, if you come here, I'd rather talk to you here than on Twitter, right? If we private message, I'd rather do that than use Twitter. So like, once I get to know somebody, like, why do we need this anymore? I'll make one exception though. If you blog, that's sick. I love reading long form content from people. So anyway, so some of the stream improvements that we're bringing now is, of course, we have a new starting soon scene by Aesthetic Den, the same person that does the ending screen, and that has been integrated into Just Chatting, Be Right Back, and the presentation view. You see the presentation view now. You've seen the Be Right Back. This is the Just Chatting view. This has a new active chatters widget, so that as people chat while I'm on this view or on the starting soon screen, the icons will update. Why don't you try it out now so we can all test it together? You can spam anything you want. If you just chat in stream, it will just update. As now my computer's going to crash, but we'll see. Now see, what's funny about that is Dicey's icon's already on there, which means it's smart enough to know I don't need to replace anyone's because it's already there. Now, it's not smart enough to know who the least active of these icons was to remove them. So once it fills up, it does kind of just start randomly replacing icons, but it's fine. Because at the end of the day, what's left over is kind of the most recent people, which is all that matters, right? It's just kind of, this is a tapestry of icons that represents who has been here recently. So anyway, but the screen itself looks like this. If you did not catch the beginning of the screen or stream, that's what it looked like. There's still some final touches to put on this. The final version will have an animated rad breathing and kind of just like enjoying the view. The trees will sway a little bit. We're still trying to figure out how to composite it all together. But it does look pretty cool, I think. And a little bit of music bouncing in the background, but nothing too crazy. Now, no promises because this person is in college, I believe, or studying something, and they don't have unlimited free time. But the idea will be, given that they have time and I have money to pay them, that they will make a spring, summer, and fall version of this screen, and that just like the old starting screen, we will swap them out for the different seasons, and I will turn on like rain or snow or whatever when it's appropriate. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But if you wonder where some of your bits or subs or gift subs go, it's to pay fellow furries to make artwork like this. So I appreciate it. And of course, you saw the new channel trailer, and there will be more to come over the break, which I wish I could share or tease right now, but none of it is in a state that would be appropriate to do that with. Okay. So next year, here's a little sketch of like, I'm not putting my foot down and saying this is what I want to do. So what I would love to focus on, if I have time and I have energy, I really want to continue trying out more and deeper understanding of the Soulsborne genre. So I'd love to continue to explore different facets of Elden Ring, whether it's the randomizer, co-op runs, learning the speed runs, being able to do bingo or challenge runs, practicing the bosses, just continuing to become more fluent in that game has been pretty fun to focus on. Yo, Flapjack, thank you. Thank you so much. Did you see your Ferengi clip earlier? I only have one clip from that stream. It's so sad. But I would also, just to be clear, I would like to play through the Bloodborne DLC, Dark Souls 2, and Sekiro at some point. I want to make sure I've kind of gotten around to all those things. Add Liza P in here somewhere too. Would like to check that out. I know this was on our list from last year, but I don't want to abandon it. I do think that roguelikes are a very good fit for me, because they're just kind of evergreen content and also like fit me perfectly in the terms of like I can just keep playing them and I keep getting better and I keep learning. And then I can share with others how to play them, right? So what the deal is here, though, is that I don't really like picking one up blind on stream. So, yeah, I would like to pick some of these up for like a few hours and try them out and make sure I know I would enjoy them. So, like, for example, Nuclear Throne, Cobalt Core, and Binding of Isaac, I know I'm going to love those. So, like, no problem there. But the newer ones that I've never played, I need to get a few hours in to make sure they're going to gel with what I want to do on stream, and I want to continue to invest in them. So guess what I'll be doing over the next month? Yeah, trying out some games. That's right. I do want to play through Rise of the Golden Idol with Lokai, of course, if that comes out this year. I want to play the Elden Ring DLC if it comes out this year. And I would actually really like to play Senua's Saga. I want to play both the original and the new Hellblade with y'all, if that's interesting. They're apparently pretty short. Probably could knock them out in a stream each. They're pretty creepy, but they seem pretty artsy in a good way. It seemed like I really like short experiences like that. So even if it's not my cup of tea, I'd like to give them a shot. And they're going to be on Game Pass, so like I don't have to pay for them either. Dan, that's it. That's all I got for you. So it's going to be a tough year ahead for me, because, you know, there's a lot of things happening this year. We get a nice little presidential election in the U.S. I'm sure everybody's going to love that. Our lease is going to be up in like 5 months, 6 months. We got to deal with that. Change is in the air, you know, and I got to try to navigate all of it. We all do. It's not a unique problem to me, but it's going to be hard. Because of that, I'm probably going to have to set some limits on how much I stream and, you know, how much I invest, because it's just impossible to control. Whenever I'm like in a mode to be productive, stream is such a strong draw that like if I dip my toe in, I'm in the pool immediately, just giving it my all. I have something to show you at the end of stream tomorrow night, whenever that is. If you can stay around that long, that I cannot believe how much effort I put into in the last 24 hours, because I had the idea for it in the shower. In the shower Thursday night, and it was done essentially last night. So it was fun. Don't get your hopes up too much. I'm just saying I'm crazy sometimes, and I like that, and I like it too much. But at the end of the day, I really love doing this. I really appreciate the love y'all give back to me. I really like having a platform. It's not perfect. It's pretty monetized. We're raising money right now for emote slots. Like, some of that is kind of gross from time to time. It's not 100% aligned with how I'd run it. But we do get a free platform to like stream really high quality content on, and free open source tools that like power my VTuber, and artists that take money and make magic come out the other end, in the form of stream overlays and VTubers and music that's free to play and games that are cheap. I don't know. It's crazy. I feel very fortunate to be able to engage with a lot of this stuff. I feel like if I had been born like 5 or 10 years earlier, I don't know if I would have been able to engage with any of this stuff. So anyway, that's all I got. So I hope that is a good update from this community this year. Looked like I'm about to, when the blush came on like that, it looked like I was about to cry. But yeah, that doesn't look. I guess what I'm saying is I have carried my stream for 3 years, very regimented. You stream on this time, on this date, whether you want to or not, whether you have an ID or not, you practice it, right? And that's generally a pretty good approach. Discipline can be practiced and taught, like motivation can't, right? You can't always be motivated, but you can always be disciplined. But like, I don't think a fun activity like streaming like this, if it's not my primary income or something, needs to have that level of rigor applied to it. So if I say I'm going to be gone for 5 weeks and I stream 3 times in the middle of that just to say hi to everybody, like, deal with it. I'm going to just do it. I'm not going to worry about it fitting a narrative or being a perfect story, right? I'm just going to try to be better to myself. So, how about we play some Fall Guys? Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you on the other side of a break. Thanks for being here.